Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Kuya Talks. And so here we are. This is the first episode.
Yeah.
This is
Exciting.
exciting.
Very
This is
exciting.
something we've both kind of talked about and tried to collaborate and just figure it out, but we're doing it. So we are filming outside. So if you do hear any noise, birds, we didn't expect it to be this noisy out here, and there's a slight wind, so pardon that noise. But joining with me today is an old friend, a brother of mine, Jonithan Nguyen.
Hello.
And today we'll be talking about taking action. So my story begins when back our senior year of high school. I was on the team. That was my third year. We were both on the tennis team. It was our third year. For me, it was Jonathan's fourth year in tennis because I joined tennis my sophomore year. And we had such a remarkable coach on the team.
Definitely.
He always cared about all the small details were important to him, and he would always focus on not only our academic side on the field, but also that he made sure you were a genuine person, and yeah, he contributed a lot to a lot of fundamentals of both of us of how we conduct ourselves and how we approach situations. We learned most of it by being under his guidance.
Oh, definitely.
And I know every single individual that got to meet him. It truly was a blessing. So going forward, we so during our senior year, we were in our championship round, and we tried to. We were lose my train of thought. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so I need to go and describe like what my mentality was. I think that's important. On the team, everyone was so talented, very skillful, and to the rank of where they stood on the team, they definitely earned it because they put in the time, they practiced, and they refined their skills to get where they were. On me, on the other hand, I didn't put enough time in to really see what my potential was as a tennis player. And I kind of judged myself. I had a low self-esteem about my tennis skills, I should say, because I felt that I'm on varsity. However, I don't feel like my skills are up to par. But then again, I didn't put in the time. So it was kind of like a dilemma myself. So going into the season where I just jumped into, but we were doing our championship game, and I was mostly, admit, I was a bench warmer because where I stood. And I didn't mind because I enjoyed cheering on my team. And I knew that we needed to put our best guys out there. But me and one of my close friends, Quinn, we got subbed in for a doubles match. And what was really nice about that was I was excited. We get our opportunity to try playing against these guys. And I remember when I was walking to the court, I realized to myself that oh my gosh, I'm gonna have there's gonna be my other teammates are gonna be watching me, and they have their own expectations, and I hope that I can make them proud. I hope I can make coach proud. And so realizing from the start, it was such a mental game of just trying to boost myself up, saying, I got this. But really deep down, I felt that we were going to be overrun by these skilled players. And this is before we even really we didn't even really shake hands and meet with the other opponents yet. And here I was putting myself down. And it wasn't until we started the first points of our games that I realized, like, maybe you have a chance. Like, there was a spark of hope that was like, that maybe we could win this. But there was just this negative part of me that I kept suppressing myself, saying, we're not going to have a chance. And it wasn't until the game was very tight, it was close. And it was about maybe the halfway point of the match. And it wasn't until I felt really down because I just wanted to get it over with, and I was saying, like, let's just do what we can. But I really wasn't. I felt like I was giving it my best, and it wasn't working. Our strategies, our plan, it just didn't work. So our coach pulled us aside. He gave us a little rundown of how to approach the match, but it was what he told me to say: focus on the small things. Focus on play each point as it is. Don't focus about winning the individual, because there's the whole match, but you have to win the individual games in tennis. So it's whoever gets to 6. And so he said, just focus on the individual points. That's better. So focus on those, so that's what we did. And long story short, we lost the match, but it wasn't too bad because it ended 4-6, and I'm still proud of that. And ever since, because all of the points we earned, that was hard work. We really pushed ourselves to earn it. And so the biggest takeaway from this is that even if the end result was failure, there was still something to gain from it. There was still success, I should say. And don't be discouraged what your end result is. Just keep moving forward, and giving it your best shot. Honestly, there's no other better way to say it. And I was thankful for that experience. And to kind of wrap it up, for taking action to me is, every single day, if you're not doing the things you need to do to get where you want to be, you got to change that. You have to take the small steps to get there. Where you see yourself, and it's not going to just magically be handed to you. You're not going to instantly obtain, what you're dreaming of. And all in all, even with this podcast, to be honest, it was a dream. It was a dream to do something, to post meaningful, quality content out to express and help others. And all I can recommend is that your dreams, or where you want to be, if it's in grasp, just go for it. This is one of those that I felt like I just needed to give myself the extra push and pair up with the right people to say, like, let's work on this, let's put this thing together. And here it is. And the future, we don't know. And we don't know where this will be. Time will only tell, but I know that if just we're taking a good step forward, I should say.
Oh, that's good.
And so that concludes my story. We'll move on to Jonathan.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
I'd like to tell my story about back in my first year of college, and I remember taking a chemistry class I thought chemistry, like as in high school chemistry, was easy, but in college it's a quite different story. And I skipped the intro to chem. I went on to the second class of chemistry, I remember, and I found it to be very difficult at first, grasping concepts, memorizing formulas, and several things that was difficult to study on. As I continue on that class, I became more prepared for each test, but in the end, I kept failing each of my tests and quizzes, like on and on. Like it was very difficult for me. I felt as growing from an Asian family,
Mm-hmm.
I had like this like this pressure on myself that I must succeed.
Yeah.
Like in order to succeed, I had to get an A in everything. I had to study my my hardest all, and
Yeah.
in the end, I failed, and I felt very scared of my parents of what they would say. What
Yeah.
they judged me on, being a disappointment to my family. It
Yeah.
was it was the worst feeling I had during my first year of college, and I didn't like to experience that again.
Mm-hmm.
I really tried to um, hide the fact that I took that chemistry class, but I was about to talk to my family about changing my major, which I didn't tell, of course, was nursing. It was chemistry was part of the prereqs, and that I had to take, and I had to talk to my counselor first, and I remember he told me like, yes, it's okay to fail,
Mm-hmm.
and no matter what your parents say, they will also understand too,
Yeah.
because failing, they probably did fail in back in high school too as well, because my dad went to college but my mom didn't. So
Yeah.
so knowing that, I felt like this not major relief, but this it's like relief sound of like, okay, it's okay, then I must try again.
Yeah.
I did plan to change my major to a different major, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do, because I felt nursing was like my calling to help others, and as I continue on, continue my next semester taking chemistry again,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I took a different type of steps of passing the class. I asked for help from professors. I took more steps to like prepare myself to pass that class, and which I
Yeah.
did with an A. And later on, I told my parents about it, about the failures. I failed that class that time, and they were at first mad at first for not telling them at first, for hiding the fact that I didn't tell them I failed the class.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also relieved that I'm telling them. They
Yeah.
said it's okay. We don't. They felt like that. We don't expect you to do much. We do provide for you, but expect that we forgive you for anything, and it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
And I felt like the most biggest relief of all times. And I felt happy. It's
Yeah.
just the moment that your parents tell you, support you all the way, and knowing that you can make mistakes, you
Yeah.
can. It's a major relief, from having that all that pressure go off your shoulders.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is like, in life, when you make a mistake, it's fine, it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't feel like obligated to like, you must pass this class or you must get this. You're gonna, the more you stick to your goals like that, make yourself pressure and make yourself stress out, the I feel like it might not demotivate you, but not make you motivated anymore to complete your goals or your
Yeah.
ideas. And I feel like I, I want people to hear that making mistakes and making yourself fail will build you up much stronger, a much better foundation, because you experienced it. It's another stepping stone to achieving your goals.
Yeah.
And another point I would like to is the consistency. I feel like people need to like continue taking more steps.
Mm-hmm.
People like no matter how big or small we
Yeah.
take, if we continue taking our steps on, we'll grow in the bigger amounts. Like if you save money, like for example, you probably hear this from a lot of people already. Like with 1 penny per day inside a jar, it grows to be bigger.
Mm.
Well, maybe not 1 penny, but like maybe
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time.
It will take time. It's fine. You should focus on taking it on your own pace.
Yeah.
You know,
So, for closing remarks, um, what would you say to someone out there who's going through the process of trying to cope with a failure, or just maybe even how would you speak to them? What would you tell them right now?
Um, don't give up. I feel like you gotta persist. You know,
Oh yeah.
like no matter how how it stopped motivating you, or no matter how much it pushes you back, resists you, you gotta push forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just always remember that with each step, you're one step closer to where you need to be, and that even where you, yeah, every step is important, you know, where you need to be. And even there's the obstacles set in front of you that you just have to just push through.
Mhm.
Just keep going,
Yeah.
you know? And one of my favorite quotes that I always love to think about whenever I feel down is that if you are gonna fall, you know, at least fall forward
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can catch yourself,
That's a really
to pick
good
yourself up,
Yeah.
you know. So, and so anyway, thank you everyone for listening to our first episode. I know there's we're we're learning. We're still learning. There's a lot of things, especially didn't realize how noisy it's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the guy that was blowing this late in the afternoon with a blower in his
Oh
front
yeah.
yard.
I didn't even notice.
But we'll hopefully we'll be continuing to improve, taking the small
Of course.
steps,
Hmm.
and just really thank you so much. And we're excited to see where this show goes, and we're happy for all of your support, and we're excited to see where this goes. So thank you, John, for being part of the show,
Of course.
and
Thank you for
and
inviting me.
here's to the future episodes. So thank you, and hopefully we'll see you next time. All right, goodbye.